Everybody, this is Perch. I think everybody is just addicted to fighting with each other at this point, and I think bluntly, a lot of the fighting people find way more entertaining than the actual comic books in this industry. That's the only way I can explain. I mean, for the customers and the fans, there's only so many comic books in the week, and you get bored, and you talk on social media, and you troll people and everything else. I don't think it's good, but I can at least understand you're not invested in the business. You don't own stock. You're not producing comics. You don't have a job in comics. I go on social media and waste your time. To be clear, you are absolutely wasting your time, but that's all. It's your time to waste, right? What's more baffling to me, and I guess this is where I come down in the creator versus customer debate, is while I don't think the customers trolling people online makes any sense, it's an absolute waste of time. Um, it makes even less sense for creators who are in this industry, and it to me it you know I'm just so these numbers come out that a bunch of people are talking about from Comicron and ICB2. And I see like people like Joe Quesada. Okay, Joe Quesada is one of the major figures in comics. There was a period in time where people believed Joe Quesada was going to be the heir apparent to Stan Lee. He was the ambassador to comics, the big evangelist, the person who was going to kind of chart a new direction. And nobody is saying that now. Absolutely nobody is saying that anymore. And that's kind of sad to me. I mean, I Quesada is somebody I watched enter comics, create his kind of creator own title, move on and do some things with Marvel Knights, and I'm skipping a million things in between. But here's a guy who has worked his way up in comics. This is not like a suit. This is not like for what it's worth. This is not like a Sana Amanat who came in as a content and character developer. First job working with Marvel, not first job, but first major comics job was working with Marvel. And Joe Quesada is somebody who spent decades getting to where he is. And his response to the ICV2 Comicron sales report of the year is to troll people. That is his instinct. His first instinct is, who could possibly find fault in this? Great news. 3, 2, 1. Why would you tweet that? You're just being a shit poster at that point to your own business. It's bizarre. I'm not one of those people, and I do think that it's ridiculous to say that creators and customers should have a different standard of behavior. We're all human beings, and we all have a responsibility to have good behavior. But whereas a customer throws shit around, that customer just looks like an ass, but they have no financial stake, nothing vested in comics outside their own collection. If Marvel tanks, they don't lose their job. They don't lose all their shares. But somebody like Joe Quesada, who's the leader, one of the leaders at Marvel, a very high-level figure within Marvel, why would you do that? It's the equivalent of going into your own place of business and just throwing shit around the room. Like that, there's no value. Whatever own that you think you get by, I mean, who are you owning at this point? Customers who are discontent with your product. I don't know what kind of own that is. Troublemakers. You're scoring a big victory against troublemakers on the internet. That's a terrible win. I mean, seriously, there's no victory in that is worth anything. So why would you do it? The only conclusion I can come to is that it is so boring within your own workplace. It is so the comics. We've lost so much interest in comics as a product that we have to create excitement in our day by just stirring up nonsense on social media. I don't understand it. Do they have the right to do that? Of course. Of course you have a right, freedom of speech. It's just dumb. I don't think, and again, this is a nuanced position. And for the love of God, I'm just going to vomit in my mouth if some people come in and say, "Oh, finally, Perch sees problems in how creators talk on social media." My position has not changed in over 2 years or 3 years on this. People can do whatever they want. It's their party. I just think it's dumb. I also do not believe creators have to sit there and just take crap. If customers are coming in and just relentlessly troll them and act like assholes, I don't think creators should have to sit there with a smile and take it. I think they can block, they can do whatever they want to do. It's their account, they can do whatever they want to do. What I'm questioning in this case is why, out of nowhere, so it's like one of the memes you see. Literally nobody. Joe Q posts this poking the bear. Why are you doing that? Why? It got the intended result. People made videos about it. I'm talking about it right now. But why was that the result anyone wanted? What does that gain anything? I think in terms of the conversation comes up a lot when you go to cons. You just who is the figurehead? Who is the ambassador for comics? And who's going to replace Stan Lee? It's always waited. Do you know what Stan Lee didn't do? A lot of people like to say, look, Stan Lee called out bigotry and racism in a soapbox. He absolutely did. He wrote those columns and he absolutely made those statements. But what he didn't do is just randomly show up out of nowhere and then troll part of the audience. He didn't do that because he was smart enough. Well, I mean, probably too old to bother with any of it, but I also would like to think at least he was smart enough to realize there was no personal financial business gain in doing that. The best case scenario was nothing. The worst case scenario would be irritating people to become turned off of your product. I suspect most people just roll their eyes and do nothing. But why in a busy day are you bothering with any of that? Just what is the point? And I'm beating up on Quesada here, but you can go down the list of a lot of senior names within comics who, again, not in defending themselves. I'm not talking about like Donny Cates post a picture of Venom and some person comes in there and says you're a bigot for not making a Eddie Brock Venom relationship, or alternatively, by the way, that would be super creepy in light of Donny Cates having the Venom symbiote pass on to his son. I mean, all you shippers out there, yikes. But anyway, or people like going into Donny Cates and saying, you're an SJW cuck out of nowhere. I mean, Donny Cates saying, hey, shut up. Fine. Again, I think in terms of good customer behavior, it doesn't benefit you to get into those kinds of arguments. But if somebody's going to come and poke you and you're going to poke them back, I mean, at least I understand the motivation. Even if it's not always smart, I understand the motivation. What I do not understand is out of the clear blue, nobody is talking about anything, and you decide to just come in and troll people for no reason. That makes no sense. Why do that? It's like the people who it is silent, nobody is saying anything, and then suddenly a creator comes in and goes, FCG. Not in response to anything. Just that's the tweet of the day. Like what are you trying to accomplish there? All the people who are going to agree with you already agree with you. All the people are like, are you trying to get attention? I mean, we all know the answer. You're trying to get attention. What you're hoping is that a bunch of people are going to come in and start yelling at you and retweet you and call you an idiot, and you've got your entertainment for the day. But why is that entertaining? Why is that anything anyone wants to do if you work in comics? Again, I don't understand it for anyone. I don't understand it when a customer goes on and out of nowhere talks about screw these socialist creators. I like, well, thanks. I always view it as the equivalent of just somebody going out onto the sidewalk and just yelling out into the street. It's like, okay, thank you, I guess. Good, thank you for your statement. But whereas I think it's a waste of time for customers, I think it's baffling and defeating for people who are working in comics. It would be a bit like if you worked for Xfinity and you just, on your lunch break, you went out into the street and said, people who buy modems are racist. Like, wait, why are you doing that? What is the goal? or is it just craziness? Well, the answer is, I think people are addicted to just the fight. And I wish people would re-examine it and ask themselves, why in the world is this a hole in your life you need filled? What is the point? Because there's a lot to do. There's comics to write. There's comics to draw. There's lots of things. There's networking. There's coming up with great ideas. There's promotion. Again, when you see it from somebody who is one of the leaders at Marvel, for the laughs, I mean, I get it accomplishes its goal. It gets people angry, and it gets other people to and they come in and are like, "Lols, those losers." And at the end of the day, what market share has been grabbed? What new character has been created? What benefit to anything is there? I, the only thing I can conclude is that it's way more exciting to live in a world of trolling and peeing on people than writing, drawing, creating, and shepherding the most amazing creations currently in existence today. I love comics. I know I'm over the top. The funny thing is, Stan Lee would get up there and go, "Hey, true believers, this is the most exciting story you've ever seen in your life." And I'd be like, "You're damn right it is," because I knew he was over the top, but I'm with him. I'm sorry, these characters are the best characters. These are the best properties. We live in a golden time where not only are there's all these comics out there with these characters, they're making movies out of them. You can get them on T-shirts and all this kind of stuff. Do you know how awesome it is to be a dad and you have your kids? And when you were a kid, you could read comics and they were super exciting. But like Wolverine, the best you could do for him was like going to get a Secret Wars toy where they give Wolverine like bizarre like claws you could see through his hand and a shield for some dumbass reason. And you still, I bought that toy, I carried it around me. I got my effing Wolverine toy. I felt awesome. And that was when they made toys with a weird kind of rubber that when you left them in the sun a little bit, suddenly they'd get way more posable because the character is just more flexible. Like that was the height of what we got. Now we've got sequels to Lego games. We've got sets. We've got a bazillion toys. We've got shirts, backpacks, movies. Like we've had multiple Wolverine movies. You cannot go into you go into a Walmart and there's a fairly large section of comic stuff. It's like the promised land has come. Why are we effing around on Twitter? Just what in the world? It's baffling to me. We absolutely need a good ambassador for comics. We need that Stan Lee. We need that person who's going to go out there shiny eyed and just be super excited about comics because damn it, we love comics. I love them so much. That is what is needed right now. We need that. And yes, a resistance, somebody who is bored, somebody who does not, goes onto social media and is not horny to see if they can troll people into complaining about comics. Like why in the world, if you are a leader of the largest comic company in North America, I'm sorry, not the largest. I'm not talking about Scholastic or Viz. I'm talking about Marvel. Why in the world would you purposefully put up a tweet to encourage people to come in and crap on your company? Like, what are you doing? What in the world are you doing? You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm sorry. No, not because you're being mean to customers, because you're wasting your time. Oh well. All right, all right, all right. I've got way too many comments about Twitter stuff, but this isn't Twitter stuff. This is human psychology. This is human behavior stuff. That's what this is. This is not social media is just one outlet. There's just what's wrong with the wiring in the brain that this is considered a viable pastime for anyone. Thanks for listening.